me, Sarah. Today I'm going to talk about karma. Just a little while ago, I was having an interesting conversation with a friend of mine, and it was an interesting conversation about karma and what it is, and if we're experiencing it, what's going on, kind of thing. And so today I'm going to explain about what karma is, the goods and the bads of her, and to see. And if you have questions, please do ask lots of questions. This may take a bit of time, and I hope you guys join in. So I'm going to invite some people right now and see if they'd like to join in first. Hi, Steed, how are you? Okay, so I'm answering questions and also welcoming people to this live feed. And right now I'm going to be inviting some people to this little live feed. This live feed will be posted on my website. I will give the link afterwards. I don't want to have too many windows open while I'm doing this. So just give me a few minutes and, oh yeah, Steed, you're in. It's a very interesting topic, karma, because everything is in karma. I just recently told my friend, I believe his name is George, that I'm a perfect poster child for karma. Well, at least I used to be. And so here we go. I'm just waiting for some people to come on in and join in here. Or people can join in when they want to. So I'm just going to get started. Okay, so karma. Everything in nature is embedded in karma. Everything in universe is entwined with karma. Karma, law of attractions, is one of the two biggest universal laws. No one can override it. No one can write it down. It's something that we ourselves are born into these laws. It's ingrained in our DNA. It's not even a memory. It's just something that we know. And if we don't know it, then that is something that we need to learn. And through going to different people for teachings is one of the things that you can learn about these laws that are greatly important. One of these laws is the misunderstood karma. If you know the earth is karma. People say, well, how can that be? Well, the earth is as beautiful as she is also the darkest part of herself, which she embraces, by the way. So, for example, when we mistreat the earth will take back. Karma is all about balancing out the scales. It's complete balance. And when it is unbalanced, karma tends to take over. And everything that you do will come back to you. Everything that you act upon without consciously thinking clearly and coherently will come back to you. For example, when you eat a fruit or you just fished out of the sea, well, what do you do with the bones and the seed? You should actually bury the bones of a fish because it gives you great soil. And plant that seed. You have to give back what you take. Because if you don't, well, not only will you have poor soil, for the next harvest, that apple tree may not grow. And that's karma. What you take, you have to give back. If you don't give back something, then karma will take place and take something of value from you. That's karma. It's in every fabric of the earth, in nature, in the universe. It's every fiber of our being. Karma can be beautiful. I know it sounds very, very weird when I say it out loud too. But karma can be beautiful if you work with her, or karma can be, well, what you can say, karma can be a real bitch. Excuse my language, but let's call it what she is. There is a very misconception of karma because people were brainwashed or taught to believe that if you did something wrong, that you're going to go to hell for it. And so karma kind of became your place of hell. Okay? Karma is about, hi Christopher, thank you for joining me. Please feel free to ask questions. If you have a question, please ask. I'm willing to answer all your questions, okay? Thank you for joining. Hi. Sorry, I had to drink some coffee here. Hold on. Okay. So it's every fabric of our being. In ancient times, the universal law was absolute. It is still absolute. Every aspect of our ancestors' way of life was embedded in through these laws. Through laws of attraction, it's how actually we self-governed ourselves with these laws. Wasn't a law of men, it wasn't a law of women, it wasn't the law of children, it was the law of how to live here on this planet. And universally has a universal community, not just a global community, but every universe and planet has these laws. It is genetic DNA, it is in our bones, it's in our souls, it's the deepest part. And when our ancestors lived this way, things were balanced. And when they were not balanced, karma would creep in and teach you a lesson. Karma is a reflection of yourself. If you haven't heard the story of the two wolves, I will post that up in the YouTube about a Cherokee grandfather who speaks to his son about the two wolves. And everybody lives with two wolves inside of them. One is evil, one is dark, that wolf is deceitful and he lies and he manipulates, but then you have another wolf part of you that is light and good and honest and faithful and loyal. Well, it's the same thing, has a yin and the yang. Many people make a assumption that we have to defeat the darkness, but the darkness is ourselves. If we can understand that on a deeper level, because that is something that we deny ourselves. We so quickly to say, oh, no, I could never do that. Oh, no, I can't do that to someone else. Then you're living in a denial, a deep, deep denial of who you really are. Karma plays in every aspect of our life. You can't run from her. You can't hide from her. You can't dismiss her. You can't, even when you pass on to the next world, she will always be there. She's that consciousness that is a part of you that will never, ever leave. There's nothing you can do about it. So what do you do? Karma is a teacher. It's a reflection of who you are. It teaches you a lesson of what you've done. And if you don't correct your mistakes, then this is what I'm going to take back from you. I come from a long line of karmic cycle ancestors. From my mom's line, she's a Celtic Druid. From my African grandmother and father, my African grandmother was a priest, a voodoo priestess, and karmic cycles is absolute. And when you do something to somebody that has not done any wrong to you, karma will make you pay severely. That's how karma works. It's balancing out the scales. No matter what, even if it's taking a life, everything must be balanced. In nature is full of karma. It's all about balancing out the scales and maintaining that balance so that everything is not separated. When we live with ourselves, we live in a daily life of complaining and blaming and self-loathing and feeling pity and always stuck in the problem. Karma doesn't make you stuck in the problem. Karma is trying to show you what the problem is, and if you don't fix it, she will become your problem. I say to myself, I just told my friend George, I hope he joins in because this is part of our conversation that we were just having, is that I'm a perfect child of karma. And it's because in my past life, in my past, I was so filled and separated of myself because it's harsh being here awake and not wanting to turn off your humanity. And that is what karma is when you start turning off your humanity to the point where you don't want to feel anymore. Karma tends to come in and make your life a living hell. And if you don't learn your lessons, you will repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat the cycles. And each time you repeat it, it gets harsher and more brutal if you don't learn anything from it. It took me years to learn how to accept that there is a dark part of myself. And that's what karma is. It is the darkest parts of your soul that everyone denies. And there's no one that can tell me different that they do not deny it. What if I told you, in complete honest, is that I'm going to tell you who I am, and then I will hope that you guys can tell me who you are. Okay? I am the darkness. I love the darkness. I love the dark parts of myself. I sometimes loathe it. Sometimes I feel when I look at the moon, it's why I'm a night owl. I hardly sleep at night because I like the shadows. Okay? And I know that I'm conniving and manipulating. I can be, the destruction that I can cause can be massive. I can be extremely violent. I can accept that of myself. But then I'm also kind and giving and loyal. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Seer. Namaste. I'm also loving and caring and giving and extremely loyal and brutally honest to a fault, which I always get myself in trouble for being. That's living with karma. That's knowing who you are and not being afraid of yourself. when you fight with yourself, you are fighting against the very nature that makes you who you are, which I think is absolutely beautiful. That's the difference. Why people are feeling such karmic cycles is because people don't want to take the responsibility of what they've created. For example, I know in the past, I've created a lot of pain for a lot of people, including myself. I created a lot of pain in my family, and including myself. And I probably, in that energy, everything is energy. You'll learn this in the next section of my series, Energy Awareness. You'll learn all about this one. Everything is energy, and everything comes back. It's a reflection. If you think of this planet, and if you think of the sun, the moon, the stars, and the universe, everything is a reflection of yourself. And so I know I probably created a lot of these wars because I was, how did I, oh, Seer, I'll answer question 1 minute. How did you find out about your karma? I found out about my karma when I was 18 years old. I've always been awake. So I've always known about karma. I've lived with karma in my past lives. When I was a kid, in this life, now as an adult, karma has always been a part of who I am. I hope that answers your questions. Let me see. It's not about finding about my karma, it's about knowing who you are. Hope that I answered your question. Because we all have karma. It's a part of who we are as human beings, as spiritual beings. It's something very spiritual. It can be the very darkest of yourself. I know it's the very darkest of myself. And it's about when I was 18, well, actually when I was 16, I went through a horrific time, a very dramatic childhood. So it was battling my inner demons. You see, that's what karma is when you start battling yourself and your inner demons, karma tends to come up. Karma is always there. It never leaves you. And when you learn, karma has a way of making you pay for the damage or the pain that you've caused. And so she may take something from you that will be of significant, because she can be brutal. Karma is absolutely brutal. And it wasn't until in my late 20s where I learned that, okay, I can stay where I am and completely be consumed with the darkness of myself, or I can learn to negotiate. And it's, I know this sounds weird because it sounds weird for me saying it out loud. You kind of have to make a negotiation with yourself, with all aspects of yourself. Because you see, this house, the physical body, holds many spirits. And all those spirits has lived lifetimes, okay, in one body. And so you kind of have to make a negotiation among yourselves to say, okay, well, I don't want to fight anymore. It's not easy to accept the darkness. It took me years to accept the darkness. Sir just made I hope I'm saying your name right. Sorry if I don't. Okay, Christopher just asked, is karma necessarily a bad thing, or can it be defined as good? Karma is never a bad thing. Karma is never a bad thing. Karma is meant to teach you something about yourself. Karma is about reminding you of your responsibility to yourself, to this planet, and to uphold the universal laws. And so when you go against the universal laws, karma tends to start knocking at your door. Karma is not a bad thing at all. It is it's what defines you, really, as a spiritual being. When I went head to head, you have to stop and think that, karma is part of who we are. And there was a great statement that the Buddha had said about 2,500 years ago. If we want to find peace, we have to stop warring with ourselves. See, when we stop fighting with ourselves, then we can find true inner peace. And that is what karma is trying to do, is teach you about the things that you deny that exist within yourself. She is not good or bad. She has she's not good, and there is no ranking her. She's not really stuck in the middle either. She is the I am presence, and she makes the I am presence known. There's laws of karma, and what you do, it's very similar to laws of attraction. Law of attraction and karma coexist together. So what you do to others, what goes around comes around. Okay? You do good, good things come. You do bad, bad things come, and then karma comes soon after that to teach you something about yourself. So no, karma isn't a bad thing. It's learning about accepting yourself and embracing every aspect that makes you who you are. I can tell you I'm dark, and I can tell you I'm light. I can tell you that I'm completely in love with both sides, because I see both sides as beautiful. You can't love the sun if you don't love the moon. You can't live separated from yourself. And with humanity as a whole, people talk about unification. That's a misconception as well, because there's no way, no one has ever taught anything, even in ancient times, that unification exists if you're still separated with yourself. You can't be unified as a universal consciousness if you're still separated from yourself and you deny who you are. When you stop denying it, then and start accepting things, you can't change everything, but you can fight for that, for what you can change. And it boils down to, the next word is responsibility. Taking responsibility for your actions. Emotions and thoughts are actions. Every time we think, every time we feel is actions. Becoming aware of your thoughts and emotions and how you speak are actions. Do you know how many wars have been created just because someone said something? If you have not been interacting with my energy awareness series, I suggest that you do, but I will elaborate on this because this will be the last video for the season, for the series, so this is it. If you don't, everything has actions, everything has consequences. Karma is, you'll never get rid of her. You'll never get rid of the darkness. You can't. This earth can't survive being separated from herself. She is the darkest parts of who we are. You know, when you, for example, and I don't want to be, I don't want to sound, you know, okay, well, like I said, I'm bluntly honest, and I'll probably get a lot of haters after this. Right now in the world, we're fighting for this planet. Okay? Why do you think we're fighting for this planet? Right now, the biggest war on this planet is water. Okay? Because we have greedy little hands that want this planet, but it's not about the water. It's about controlling this planet. It's about owning her. Okay? So the real war, all wars that have ever been created, has it been about the planet. Okay? And so now this water war has been coming. It has been coming for a long time because there is a lot of people that has been preparing for this war to come. I myself, as a tribal woman, have been preparing for this war for a long time as well. It's why I'm here in this time, to oversee if it happens. So enough said about that. All these storms coming out, floods, tsunamis, earthquakes, volcano eruptions. What you do to this planet is going to be coming back onto you. Now, that's karma. All these massive floods, whole cities getting, that's how you treat the planet. That's how she's going to treat you. She will kill you if you try to consume her, right? She has killed so many people, so many civilizations in the past. Now that's the other side of this great mother, because karma is her sister. They're one and the same. So the same thing goes with humanity. If we don't stop treating each other and ourselves the way we treat this planet, we will kill each other off until we are no more. Or karma will come in and annihilate this whole entire race. That's karma. Okay? So now that we understand karma a bit more, is there any questions that you have? Because she's not bad, and you're not going to go to hell. I mean, what the hell is going on in hell anyways? You know? I'm not religious on any aspect, although I do respect all, well, most religions, as long as they respect other people, beliefs. But as far as karma goes, she's not bad. She's not good. She is the I Am Presence. She's always there watching and waiting. And the minute that you slip up, she'll be there. And if you find out, you don't really have to take action to make karma happen. Karma will happen when, on her time. I find people say to me, oh my God, I'm having such a rough time, you know, or my loved one is doing this and doing that, and I'm trying to stop them, but don't. Because the minute that, another way of karma is if you interfere with her taking action, that will come back onto you. Sarah just asked me, what do you believe in? Okay. I don't believe in anything. I'm a thinker. I'm a dreamer. I think. I think and think and think. I think that believing in something puts you in a box, in a tiny little box where there is no room for anything else. It's like being a lemming, okay? And what do lemmings do? They follow the leader, and that leader kind of goes to the cliff and watches everybody jump off. I don't believe in anything. I'm a thinker. Thinking is a free-flowing energy. You know, and I don't believe in hope, because we all know what the Greek goddess did when she opened the Pandora box, and look what happened, what that came out of that box. So I don't believe and I don't hope, but I do have faith, which is completely different than believing. Okay, Nicole just answered. Questioned me, how do you let karma teach someone why you live with them as a partnership? You can't. Karma, you can't, karma, you can't let karma teach someone. You just got to stand back. You just have to stand back and let things happen the way they're supposed to be. There's a saying that you can't force someone to love you if they don't love you. You just have to wait. You just have to let nature take its course. Either be karma, or either be it was meant to be. What is meant to be will be. You can't stand in the way of karma, and you can't. You just have to stand by. You just gotta stand back and let it happen. I'll give you an example. Now, I can't go into too much detail, okay, because it's just recent. Now, my son was hanging around with a bunch of friends. Well, I wouldn't call them friends, but he knew he wasn't supposed to be around them because of what they were doing, okay? But because he wouldn't listen, okay, and no matter who told him what, and what his grandmother and everybody told him to stop going over to these people's house, something happened, and my son took the fall. I couldn't, and I knew that karma had to have her way with him so that he will learn to be cautious and to remind him that he has limitations of what he can and cannot do. So as hard as we have to sometimes sit back and let karma happen, even though that you feel the need that you need to interfere to stop that someone, all you have to do is just talk to them. And if they're not willing to listen, you have to let karma take its place. Because if you interfere with karma, even though your intentions are good, if you interfere, karma will turn around and slap you right in the face. That is just something that I don't suggest that anybody do, is to, if karma is about to happen, and you know, because you can feel it, you can feel that, okay, something is going to happen. What should I do? Should I interfere? Should I step back? But you know karma is coming. That would be the time for you to step back and let things happen and let the chips fall where they may. And as much as that lesson is going to be harsh, because I know my son had learned the hardest lesson. I think he's learned his lesson very well. you kind of have to allow it to happen. You have to, because if you step in, if the outcome will not be good for either one of you. I hope that answered your question. It's difficult. It's never easy to watch someone fall, but sometimes you have to allow it to happen. And you can't really, it's just, I wouldn't suggest that you go in and dive in to try to save them, because everybody has to learn how to save themselves. Of course, but it still affected you. Of course it affected me. Of course. I wouldn't be a human being if it didn't. But at the same time, lessons needs to be learned. And if a person isn't going to listen, then karma will show them, or something else will show them that lesson. If they don't learn karma's lessons, then they are doomed to repeat it. And that's life. That's part of life. It will affect you. And there's not much you can do about it. Because karma will have her way with your interference or without it. She will have her way. You can't control karma at all. And we can't control every situation either. You just have to learn how to live with things. You have to learn how to live with it. And as long as you live in truth and reality, you have to learn how to live with the truth. No matter how brutal the truth comes out. And it will affect you. It will affect, probably people around you. But you can't step in front of karma, because you will get it back. There will be consequences on that for you. The best that you can do is just to be there. To be there to listen, not so much to be there to save them. Because that is the lesson. They have to learn how to pick themselves up and think. Karma is about thinking. Karma doesn't believe that she can do whatever she wants with it. She knows that she can. So karma is about making you think about doing something. It's that voice, everybody gets that voice that says don't do it. And that inner feeling that that something bad is about to happen. Karma gives you many, many, many warnings. That's the little voice that everybody hears. Don't do it. Or that feeling of, I don't have a good feeling about this. If you feel that, then you should not do it. If you feel that, that's just, common sense. Karma is about common sense. If you hear that voice that says, just don't do it. So she gives you warnings. If you try to interfere, she'll warn you. You will feel it. There's no getting away from it. You can't mistake karma at all. I just don't suggest anybody to interfere if karma is about to take place. It will not work out for you, and it will not be helpful and work out for that other person, because it's a lesson that they have to learn themselves. And you're not responsible for how they're going to learn it. That's their responsibility on their own. And that's the journey that they will have to take on their own. Okay? I hope I answered your question. If there's any clarification you need, please ask. Another thing about karma is life. That's what life is. It's a cycle of life. When an elder passes on, new life begins and a child is born. It's just a karmic cycle. She's not good. She's not bad. It's just part of life. Um, much gratitude to you as well, Nicole. It's just the way we see ourselves. You know, we say to our children, well, you know, you don't want people to treat you the wrong way, so don't treat others. But how does a child know how to do that? You know, so you teach a child, you know, to be kind to themselves, because when you are kind to yourselves, when you can be in love with yourself, and when you can embrace who you are, then that child will grow up and know how to treat other people. It always starts with yourself, of how you see yourself, what you think of yourself, how you feel about yourself, because how you feel and think about yourself matters. Because at the end of the day, that is the energy that's going to be reflected, you know, onto someone else's and the planet. And that reflection comes back onto you. So if you feel, you know, that you're a loser and you feel negative, well, karma's going to give you a bunch of people to join in your misery. Because, well, that's how you feel about yourself, and that's generally how you treat other people. So then karma's going to give you what you deserve, right? So that's how it works. Law of attraction works the same way. It's the same entity. Law of attraction and karma are not separated. They are the same. Okay? And when you say, you know, I always tell people, whenever I create groups, or if they're coming on to my page or whatever, you know, when they're commenting, I always say, be mindful of what you're talking about. Be mindful of what you're saying. Be mindful, because your words travels, right? People don't think that verbal energy was such a powerhouse, but it's probably the most effective powerhouse there is on this planet today. Even back then, still nothing really much has changed from ancient times to these times, because wars are always created on verbal. How you treat people is always verbal, and how you speak to that's how you speak to yourself internally as well, because it has to be, if you're treating other people, you know, like crap. So again, karma is everywhere. You know, you treat others, she'll treat you the same way. You know, you do something, it's all about balancing the scales. All about balancing the scales. Doesn't matter what it is. If you want something from the earth, and if you don't take it back, if you don't give it back, she's going to take something from you. Like I said, I have a strong lineage of, you know, Druids, and, you know, and it's not a belief. It's not even a practiced religion. It is the way of life. It's the way of life, and it's universal knowledge, and it's extremely a universal understanding that when you do something, you have to get something in return. That's balancing out the scales. How you see now that this planet has become so badly abused that, you know, everything that we do to the planet, we do to ourselves. So when we drop a piece of gum wrap on the ground, well, we just dumped garbage on our bodies, right? So when we are killing off all the animals for no reason, it's not even to survive, then we are killing ourselves as well. So you see, everything is connected. Karma, laws of attraction, it's all consciousness. It's all energy. It's absolute. There can't be really any confusion about what karma is if you look deep within yourself. And when you are looking deep within yourself and you start getting a clear understanding of what you actually are made up of, then you'll understand that we are power. There is no amount of guns and bombs and stuff like that. That's not power. That's an illusion of power. But we are powerful. We just have to learn to respect our intelligence, because karma is extremely intelligent, and we are karma ourselves, and we are extremely intelligent. Taking responsibility is probably the first step to understanding karma, because when you don't take responsibility of your actions, karma will come to you. We're not responsible for everybody. We have to be responsible for ourselves. We are responsible for this planet, however, and we are responsible for a part. We all have a part to play in the illusion and everything. We all have a part to play. It's when people can own that truth. Karma is nothing but the truth. Karma doesn't lie. She's not a liar. She's brutally truthful. And that's one thing that I find that majority of humanity can't handle, is that brutal truth. Because when it comes to that brutality of truth, it means that it means there is something about yourself. And that, again, that's about denying that part of yourself of, oh no, I can't be responsible for that, or I can't, that's not me. But it is you. Every time you deny, that is another energy that comes out. That's another negative energy that comes out. That's another action, a physical action that comes out. Is there any more questions that, if you have, please let me know. Love to answer all your questions. So I hope that this little talk about karma is understood, because she is misunderstood in a lot of ways. I know through my life, I've always fought against karma. I fought with her, not on the same side, of course, and she's always been a pain in my ass. But when I learned the hard way, I learned that karma can also be your best friend if you allow her to be. Because karma is good. Okay? Karma is really good. And sometimes when you see something, say something. Say something. If you see something that's wrong, or you see something that someone is doing wrong, say something, but don't take physical actions. Be mindful and let karma take its place. If someone is doing something wrong to you, say something. That's your right. And let karma take its place. And all you have to do is sit and watch karma take her place. I've had a lot of experiences with that aspect of karma being your best friend. There's no magic about it. There's no magic about karma. It is what it is. And you either accept it or you don't. That's a choice. We all have choices. And you can either continue to live in separation of yourself, or you can start embracing yourself, because that is what the evolution is about. That's what this spiritual journey is about. It's about self-discovery of who you are, who you were, where you're going. And it's a self-discovery. It's nobody's business but you, the creator, the earth, and all the aspects that comes with it. And everybody, and I don't care who they are, everybody will have to go through their karmic cycle, because if you haven't done anything in this life, you've done something in the last life that you brought over in this life. That's how karma works. And when you get through karma and you start understanding who you are, you will find out that it's a beautiful thing, that we are beautiful. You're beautiful, I'm beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with us. That's what the misconception of religion teaches you, is that there's something wrong with you. That is universally known. But there's nothing wrong with us. And karma isn't hell. And karma isn't the devil or the demon. Karma is every aspect of who we are. It's what makes this planet work. It's what makes us powerful. And when we start embracing ourselves and loving ourselves, then we can love everything else. You can see through the illusion. And when you become empowered by your essence, that's a choice you can make. You can either stay within the illusion of separation, or you could turn your back. I myself turned my back. I don't care about what the governments are doing or anything like that. I don't care. I don't care about the system. I don't care about anything like that. So you have a choice. You can turn your back and tell them to F off, or you can stay in illusion and let people tell you who you are and how to think and how to feel and what you should look like and how you should live and what you should believe in and how to speak and what you should look like and how you should dress. That's living in the separation of yourself, and that karma takes very, very good at. That karma always follows people that live in that kind of separation. It's a never-ending cycle, and a lot of people, and I know there's a lot of people that live in this cycle of their own personal hell. And I don't believe in hell, by the way, but I do believe that we can create our own hell. Now, that's something I do believe in. That we create what we want to experience. That's universal knowledge. We want to experience hell, then we will create it. We want to experience peace, then we create it. Karma will be there all the time. There's no escaping her. So I hope that this helped a lot of people to understand a bit more about this topic, because it's just part of life. It is what it is. It's the way of life. You can't change it. It's universal law, which is absolute. It's woven within every fabrics. It's what makes us who we are. And there's nothing wrong with us. We are extremely intelligent. We are extremely beautiful. And if we can own our own truth, because your truth and my truth is completely different, then we're good. This evolution will take off. But as long as we live in this continual separation of everything, then we deserve what we get from both sides, earth and karma and everything else. So be mindful of your thoughts and your emotions. Be mindful of how you speak, because it does affect everything, and everything has consequences, either good or bad. That depends on every individual. So I'm going to cut this out now, and I hope you like this teaching. And I'll speak to you guys soon, and stay safe wherever you are, and keep up the good fight. Be love, And don't be afraid of yourself. Embrace yourself. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're a human being the DNA of the earth, being the DNA of the skies, of the stars. That's who we are. Much love and light. And I just want to give the shout out to my brothers and sisters in British Columbia who are fighting against Kinder Morgan for against the pipelines. And I'm there with you in spirit. Hopefully I could get some money together to join them and fight for this planet because we need her and we have to have her. Our children have to have her, and their children have to have her. And stay true to yourself and be love. See you next time. Bye.